Good morning. Today we're talking about Drumline the movie, and no, not that abomination of a sequel.
Hey, I was in that. Alright, so, hey, what's going on, guys? This is Antoine Gibson again with another video. For this video, I'm doing something different. I'm making a review of this guy's review from Drumline the movie, and it's kind of outlandish. Like he said, some really interesting things from a guy who's not that knowledgeable of HBCU marching bands, culture, experiences, and it's some pretty interesting stuff. So I'm going to play it and just talk along with it. And yeah, if you want to see the original video without any commentary, besides, you know, this guy's EMC Productions, yeah, check him out. He does, I guess, drum stuff.
We're talking about the OG Drumline.
Original gangster? Is that what OG is? Oh, Lord.
I will be reviewing what I liked about this movie and what I didn't like about this movie, and some things that literally make no sense at all. So Drumline the movie. This movie gets a lot of crap from all course-style marchers.
Like you, alright?
Yeah, the drumming is pretty bad, and we're going to be talking about that as we go on. However, I actually like this movie. I like what it does for music in general. I think it makes Drumline and Marching Band seem very cool and interesting, and I know for a fact that this movie has influenced a lot of young drummers to stay with drumming and progress further in their career as, you know, either marching band drummers or concert band drummers. So overall, this movie gets the EMC seal of approval. Now with that said, a lot of the stuff in this movie is kind of ridiculous, and some of it makes no sense at all. Okay, so the very first scene in this movie, this is the high school graduation where we meet our main character, Devin Miles, who is played by actor Nick Cannon. So my first issue with this scene is, you're not going to want your seniors to perform in the band during their own graduation. Like, this ceremony, they're focused on freaking graduating.
Okay, some of the stuff he says is really accurate and funny, such as this scene. So I'm mostly going to talk about the cultural shades, the cultural knocks that he puts versus dumb Hollywood cinematography stuff that he says in the movie, such as this one, which is fine. I make the same jokes, but it's more so about the culture that I have a problem with. So let's do it.
Right? You don't want them to have to do simultaneous things like graduate and then suddenly go up into the band. That's going to be kind of a logistical nightmare. And also, you're just asking for some trouble, like exactly what happened in this scene. Yeah, what's going to happen? Are they going to send him to detention? He freaking graduated. Like, you can't get in any trouble if you screw around now. The other issue with this scene is, from the instrumentation shown in the wind section, this appears to be a wind ensemble, because you got the French horn player over here, right? The French horn is not used in marching band unless it's some, like, special effect, right? You would use mellophones. But in the percussion section, it's a bunch of marching drums with a few concert snare drums. It's kind of weird and doesn't make any sense. And when Devin starts jamming and doing his own thing, in the movie he's playing on a concert snare drum, but the sound being played back is a marching snare drum.
I thought the same thing when I saw this movie.
Now this was super obvious to me. I'm sure it wouldn't be to the general non-drummer, but to me now I think that this movie is just going to be a bunch of fake, you know, overdubbed soundtracks over what's going on, and that is pretty accurate. A lot of this is not actually what's being played on the screen. Now another issue I see, and this one is actually kind of realistic, like this one could actually happen. None of the percussionists are reading music, which tells me that they learned this by rote, as in somebody played it for them and then they learned it by watching it.
Or it's just a movie, and I've done a couple of movies in my days. Props and stuff such as instrument stands and music stands and stuff like that. Usually Hollywood has no idea that these even exist. So to point out that they're not in a movie doesn't necessarily talk about how the guys on screen have learned music or how, you know, or their knowledge of music. More so, it probably wasn't in the list of props, quote unquote, for the costuming department to get, or the, you know, the staging department to get in the movie. All right. So I think it's more so that, but let's keep going.
And as we know, the main character, Devin Miles, never learned how to read music, which is a huge issue coming up. By the way, there's huge spoilers throughout this movie. I'm going to reveal everything that happens. So if you haven't seen the movie, then, well, prepare for it to be spoiled for you. So maybe this band director actually kind of sucks and only focused on the wind section and just left his percussionists to do whatever the heck they want, which left Devin with the inability to read music.
That's funny.
Kind of makes sense. So band directors, don't forget about your percussion section. Hashtag percussion lives matter.
Percussion lives matter. I don't even have to go into that. Percussion lives matter. Gotcha.
Okay, moving on in the movie, we find out that Devin got a full scholarship for music, and he's going to Atlanta A&T University, which that school does not exist in real life. However, it is very closely based off of North Carolina A&T.
So this is how I know he didn't research this or know pretty much anything about HBCU culture, band culture. The movie A&T was definitely loosely based off of Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University. They used A&T's name, kind of similar and similar colors, but yeah, the band is definitely based off of FAMU's Marching 100.
University. So here's some issues with this. So apparently the band director, Dr. Lee, he went to Devin's house and recruited him for a full scholarship.
Hollywood.
That does not happen with music, okay? You have to go to the school to audition and maybe you will get a scholarship.
Actually, a lot of these band programs, a lot of HBCU schools I know of, definitely go out on recruitment tours. The directors go to different high schools and different communities where kids might not have the resources or opportunities to actually make a trip to the college. And this kind of happens pretty regularly. I don't know any, like, going to somebody's houses and doing it, in the living room. But, Hollywood. Let's keep going.
After you audition for the school. Also, getting a scholarship for marching band is not a thing for undergrad students. Now, I got a full scholarship to work with the marching band as a master's student. I went to University of Delaware. Go Blue Hens! However, I have never heard in my life of an undergrad student getting a scholarship because of marching band. Like, that doesn't happen. You can get a full scholarship for music performance, but in this movie, we never actually find out what Devin's major is.
I haven't seen the movie before I saw this YouTube video, but I don't think that Dr. Lee goes into that much specifics about what the scholarship is actually for. I don't know of any colleges that only have marching band scholarships either. So I doubt that this scholarship was a marching band scholarship versus a music scholarship. If you have a scholarship, you have to do another ensemble such as concert band, jazz band, percussion ensemble, clarinet ensemble, stuff like that. I don't know of any solely marching band scholarship schools either, but
Or what classes he attends. The only thing we see is him doing marching band, and majoring in marching band is not a thing.
It's a marching band movie.
Right, you'd have to have some kind of other major, and then marching band would be another class on top of that. So it is possible that Devin Miles auditioned to be a music performance major. However, he would have to play concert snare, timpani, and marimba in order to get in as a performance major.
This is a marching band movie.
And the only thing we ever see is him playing marching snare drum.
It's a marching band movie.
He could also potentially be a jazz performance major, in which case he would be playing jazz drum set.
Marching band movie.
Which we never see him do that either. Okay, next scene. We're on the bus going to school and we pass Morris Brown University.
Morris Brown University, guys. Morris Brown University. Doesn't exist. Never existed. Morris Brown College, though.
That is the arch rivals of A&T University. Oh, man. But anyways, on this bus is where they learn about the B&T Big Southern Classic.
B&T or B-E-T?
Which this thing does not exist. You know what also does not exist? College marching band competitions. That is not a thing at all. There are quite a few festivals around the country where a lot of college marching bands will attend those, but this is all exhibition, right? It's not competitive based. It's just for fun.
So this is where one of the cultural differences arises. There are definitely a plethora of marching band competitions that have a winner. Okay. For instance, Stevenson High School just did a competition in Memphis, won the competition, and got to perform at the Southern Heritage Classic football game. So there was a prize for winning the competition. It happens all the time. There are many more exhibitions, but the BT Southern Heritage Classic from the movie is loosely based off of many different type of Battle of the Bands, such as the Queen City Battle of the Bands, Honda Battle of the Bands. There are a couple different ones that the Battle of the Bands on the movie is based off of, but
But I mean, for the sake of this movie, I'm sure they just wanted to add some, extra competitive juice to it. So they made college competitive marching band a thing, which is kind of silly. Okay, so now we get to school and we meet a couple more of the main characters. We have Dr. Lee, played by actor Orlando Jones, and Sean Taylor, played by Leonard Roberts. So the Dr. Lee character, I actually really like this character, and I think Orlando Jones did a really good job portraying a college band director.
I got enough shit in my life. I'll just use this as toilet paper instead.
I think he is the most realistic character in this entire movie, right? He's a young band director, he's very gung-ho to educate his students, and he has very solid morals when it comes to education versus entertainment, and I really like that and respect that. Another thing I like about this movie is how it portrays marching band as a very physically tough activity, because it is, and a lot of people underestimate how hard it actually is to do marching band. You're running around a field for 10 to 15 minutes, you got 40 pounds of gear attached to your body, it's very difficult. However, the way that they physically train in this movie is pretty stupid. So here you got people running up and down stairs, which that's a good exercise when you're not wearing an instrument. Like having them carry the instruments around, that is very, very dumb, because
that scene is kind of funny.
Because you're gonna fall, you're gonna break the instrument, and you could easily hurt yourself. And here where they have them, doing wall squats, yes, wall squats are a very good exercise, but it's very unrealistic that they would be doing that outside in the rain, everyone would probably get sick and catch a cold, and it's just very silly and unnecessary.
So another cultural difference, right? So this whole montage of them working out in these turf circumstances, running up bleachers with sousaphones, squatting in the rain, yelling cadences. This plays on the HBCU pre-drill band camp, rookie camp, crab camp, whatever your school calls it. But this is a montage on how tough that process actually is. It's definitely a hyperbole on a lot of these stuff. It's not that serious, but it plays on that. All right, it's actually a real thing.
Okay, so here finally we get to a scene where they're actually rehearsing playing their instrument. Okay, so right there it looks like they're working on a very basic rudiment called a flam tap at an obnoxiously slow speed. And not only that, they're playing really, really dirty. So for those of you that might not know, a dirty drumline, that's really, really bad. That's when you can tell easily that there is a whole bunch of individuals.
This is rookie camp, pre-drill. They just met each other yesterday.
Playing drums, whereas a clean drum line, that's what you want to strive for, is when it's so together that it basically just sounds like one really, really loud drummer.
Again, all of his examples in the movie are from DCI, Drum Corps, and it's not the same. All right, music is universal. It's, the music theory is the same everywhere, but these things are not the same. Kind of funny though.
You would need to be way beyond this level of skill, right? You should be able to play flam taps at a fast speed and together. So here's a flam tap. This is what they're playing. But at the level they should be at, they should be playing it this fast. At least that fast. Probably more like this. Okay, but anyways, then we get into this other ridiculously stupid scene.
Yeah. Now when you making love right, when you handling your business, you feel it. Maybe you don't.
Okay, so this exercise is actually called chicken and a roll, and I'm not making that up because obviously I got a lot of chickens over here, but that's actually what it's called. That is literally one of the most basic drumline exercises that there is. And first of all, the way they're starting this, you would never just start playing if it's more than one person. You would have some kind of count off. Imagine a rock band where all of the members of the band start at the same time.
I think the whole thing was about them following him.
The drummer did not click everybody off and they all just tried to start, it would be really, really bad. The way that they're battling is you start playing the chicken and a roll exercise and you get faster and faster until you make a mistake or drop a stick. This is a super easy exercise. You shouldn't be messing it up that bad. So then he gets to Devin and Devin kicks his butt. So stupid. And then Dr. Lee challenges Devin, and apparently, you know, walking 3 feet is what's gonna screw Devin up. It doesn't make any sense. It's totally stupid. Okay, so then we get to the audition finally. Like, it looks like everyone else auditioning is just sitting over here watching, and then you also got the upperclassmen sitting up on the hill watching and judging and giving their 2 cents on how you should place. Like, this is just totally stupid. That's the way they do it. Also, the idea that the upperclassmen sitting way up on this hill, like a couple 100 yards away from the person auditioning, and can make an accurate assessment on how they should place. Like, you're not gonna hear crap from all the way over there. Like, that looks like they're like on the side, like in the back.
Bro, it's Hollywood.
Of the performer. Like, that is entirely too far away to hear basically anything. You'll just hear the reverb off of whatever is coming off the stadium. But anyways, this audition goes down. Apparently all that they have to do is play some solo, which in an actual audition you would maybe play a solo, but in addition to that you would play your exercises, some rudiments probably, and maybe like an excerpt from like the school's cadence, or if they have some show music, just a small part of that. It wouldn't just be a solo, like you need more to go off of. So Devin goes, he plays this solo from memory because he doesn't know how to read music, and from what I'm gathering here, he is just able to watch the other people that auditioned and learn their solo that they did and then play it himself.
Talent.
Nah, I just thought I had a little something on the end.
I've never seen anybody with that crazy of an ability to just see something and then be able to play it back immediately. Such as in this scene right here where Sean, he plays the snare drum solo that's going to be in the show, and then Devin just watches it one time and then is able to immediately play it perfectly with no flaws. But I'm going to test it myself. This is not the first time I've seen this scene with the solo. Like, I watched this movie in preparation for this video. I've also seen it a few times in years prior, but I'm going to watch it right now and attempt to play back what he did. We'll see how it goes.
Hollywood.
Okay, I just realized they slow-moed a lot of that, so wait, let me watch Devin play it here. Okay, let's try it here. So it was something like this.
Bro, that wasn't that bad, bro. Like, that was, that wasn't that bad.
Okay, so anyways, the audition happened. Devin got a P1 score. By the way, this scoring system is really, really stupid.
Oh, it's absolutely dumb, but it's Hollywood.
But I've never heard of any marching band doing this, and I hope none of them actually do it. So basically, you'll get a score on your audition of P1, P2, P3, or P4. P1s are the only one that actually get a spot. P2s, I guess you might get a spot, and P3 or 4, you probably wouldn't. It doesn't really make any sense. In real life, an audition for a marching band, you would either get in, or you wouldn't. There would be no, like, oh, maybe, like, you'll, like, it's up in the air. This isn't like other sports where there's a bench that you can just pull people off of. You got very complicated choreography and drill and different parts per section. The idea that...
You're right, a lot of bands have a set number of positions, but a lot of bands also have something called a sideline crew.
You can just pull somebody off the bench to learn one of these parts and all this drill with, like, just a rehearsal or two. It's totally unrealistic.
It happens. It's definitely happened.
And not only that, this movie has challenges where you can go basically re-audition and challenge someone for their spot. And this is completely stupid. Like,
Alright, so this is called Shaking the Tree. A lot of bands do this. A lot of bands do this. I wish bands did it more, actually. Bro, this might actually blow your mind, but the Family Watching 100 did a 60 Minutes episode in the late 80s, early 90s. I forgot what year it was exactly. Where the entire episode was about students making the band, the process of making the band, what they had to go through, the work that it took. Shaking the Tree is what we call it. And there's an entire episode that was on, 60 Minutes, CBS, NBC, I forgot what channel it was. So, of course, like Dr. Lee would say, the music is the most important part, of course, but it also highlights how important the marching, the dancing, the choreography, all of these other aspects of the black marching band experience, like how important this stuff actually is, and what the movie Drumline is actually based off of. Like, this is a real thing. You should check it out.
Like, you wouldn't want to be dealing with re-auditioning people in the middle of the season. Like, you do that once. You don't just continually audition people based on when they want a spot more. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
A band may Shake the Tree challenge. They may challenge for this spot in position during pre-drill, band camp, before homecoming, like before it's a lot of different times during the year where somebody actually may challenge for a spot. And by being more prepared, by playing the situation better than the other guy or whatever the, situation calls for, they will get that spot. It's actually a thing, shaking the tree.
Also, the fact that you can just, hey, surprise, I'm challenging you right now, that is totally dumb.
That means you need to stay up on your skills. Don't get complacent. So this kind of healthy, positive competition is why a lot of bands perform the way they perform. Look at the all-star HBCU bands. Look at Southern, Jackson, Bethune-Cookman, North Carolina A&T, FAMU. Like, look at all these schools. The competition that's within the band itself is kind of what drives these schools to perform the way they perform. Like, it's not by accident, all right?
Because the person challenging would have probably practiced this routine diligently for a few days.
You're right.
While this other person had no idea that they were going to be challenged. And they're probably focused on the music that they're having to do with the game, not this random audition piece. So they wouldn't have practiced it.
The audition piece is probably something they perform in the show.
So of course the person challenging is going to beat the person that is getting challenged.
Unless the person getting challenged is doesn't half step or doesn't regress any during the season.
Because they practiced the freaking challenge and the other person didn't. Also, this bass drum challenge audition, whatever you want to call it, this is totally stupid. Like,
Kinda
they're
funny.
just drumming and dancing with zero technique. It's just looking kind of idiotic, to be honest. Like, the thought that you can use that to evaluate someone to tell if they're best for the line, like, that is just not realistic.
There's ways to see if somebody's executing something better than somebody else. You can clearly see that in the movie.
Whatsoever. The way we auditioned our bass drummers at University of Delaware is we had them
This isn't University of Delaware.
play, like I said earlier, there's rudiments, there's exercises, and also what's important for bass drumming is playing splits. So those of you who are not familiar with the term bass splits, that is the idea of having tonal bass drums.
That's important with a lot of drum lines, and that's not to say that's not important with this drum line at not North Carolina A&T, at Atlanta A&T. But also there's another aspect in a HBCU halftime show. A lot of choreography. You can't negate the choreography aspect. Somebody may be able to play the material, eons above the next person, but the next person looks better on the field. I mean, hey, it happens.
Like different sizes and tuned differently. There are some tonal bass parts in this movie.
Here's the Stevie.
This is something that is an incredibly important skill when making a bass drum line, and this movie does not showcase that whatsoever. Apparently just jumping around like a rabbit while it's pounding the bass drum is what's most important. But here's a basic split exercise that we did with the University of Delaware guys. It would be, the person auditioning along with a staff member, they would play this. I'm going to show off my split screen skills here.
This is cute.
Okay, so then finally, Devin gets called out for not knowing how to read music about an hour into this movie. Now, in real life, they would have known that when he auditioned to be a music performance major because you have to sight read in your audition. But in this hypothetical world, he was able to skate by without having that skill until this point. So Dr. Lee kicks him out of the band until he can figure out how to read music. And the ability to read music is not technically required to do marching band, but once again, I do respect Dr. Lee's decision to want Devin to read music because, when he graduates, he might want to go on to teach music or write music, so he won't be able to do any of that crap if he doesn't know how to read music. Then we get to this this part where the band director of Morris Brown tries to recruit Devin by offering him a scholarship, even though scholarships don't exist in marching band unless you're a graduate assistant. But in order for him to get this scholarship that wouldn't ever happen, he wants Devin to share what top secret show that Atlanta A&T marching band is working on.
Hollywood.
So in competitive band in general, you want to just focus on your own unit. You don't want to really care too much about what the competition is doing because it's all about you and your students and the show you designed. You want
All right, so maybe in his world, all right, yeah, in the HBCU band world, yeah, bands kind of try and do their best to outdo the next band. Like that's definitely a thing. Trying to get one up on the next band that you're going against. It happens all the time.
want to focus on that. So the fact that this guy is having some freshmen from another school pretty much rat out what his band director is doing, that just tells me that he is very unconfident in his staff and his members.
I don't know, man. The Patriots had the whole Spygate situation. That don't mean they weren't good. They just had the whole Spygate. They sent, y'all know the story. Send the dudes to the Bengals. Hey, man, that happens in a lot of different areas of life, not just black marching band. All right, not to say that this actually happened, but this is Hollywood. But it's
Then we get to this iconic scene where
most hated dude in the movie to this day.
once again, Devin just kind of does his own thing, starts soloing randomly. Now, in all the years I've marched and taught, I've never had a student just randomly decide that they're going to take a solo in the middle of the show without telling anyone that they're going to do it.
Yeah, that's wild.
I mean, I guess it could happen, but that's not very likely. But this is what happens. He goes up and he plays on this other dude's drum, and the guy gets super pissed off and punches him in the face. Once again, very unrealistic scenario here. So drum battles, I mean, they're a battle, but like, it's usually just like all in good fun. Devin gets in a whole lot of trouble. He gets cut out of the band again. His girlfriend like kind of breaks up with him. It's really bad for Devin.
Right. So this is, once again, it's a Hollywood movie. Every movie needs a conflict, right? So this is the conflict of the movie, and everything after this point would be working toward the resolution. All right, the climax. Like, this is now the conflict, and now the movie changes gears to try to resolve this conflict.
But the person that would have actually got in a lot of trouble for starting the fight should have been this guy, because he threw the first punch. Then we get to this scene, which has become pretty much a meme now, where he gets on this magical device where this thing is attached to the snare drum that can read and interpret and perfectly transcribe exactly what he played. This does not exist. There is music software where you can play something on a keyboard and it'll input the correct notes and it'll snap the rhythms to the closest 16th note, I believe, but I wouldn't be able to pick up what Devin's playing here. These rhythms are way too dense to know exactly where they would be landing, and also he's not playing with a click. So this program, there's no way that it can be able to tell what tempo you're playing at. And the sheet music comes out looking like this, with multiple notes.
Yo, this is hilarious, dog. I don't know why they got them B flats and B naturals like that. Yeah, this is pretty dumb, but it's Hollywood. It's funny, Yeah.
I don't know how you put this series of combinations together like that.
The snare drum is just one note. And also, these rhythms are not even close to what Devin played.
What? Yeah, I'm the man.
Hey, this whole thing is funny.
You the man.
That's what I'm talking about.
So go on and be the man.
Get off the line. Yo, this is funny.
Not even close to what he played. So then, kinda out of nowhere, Sean decides to become friends with Devin and help him learn how to read music. Okay, so finally we're here, the moment we've all been waiting
They've had a love-hate relationship the whole movie, but I guess you kind of missed that.
for, the BET Big Southern Classic, which does not exist and neither does competitive college marching band. Okay, so if I was judging this contest, Morris Brown would have probably got dead last place with this. This is the stupidest performance to do for
It's a good thing you're not judging this contest.
a competitive event. So they hired this celebrity to rap, and the band basically is just accompanying what he's doing, and this is a marching band contest, so like, they're barely not even playing anything at all, and there's no drill, like there's no demand for what they're doing.
Right, so I guess, I don't know, the criteria for your average competition may not be the criteria for this competition. Like, all competitions don't have the same criteria, and you should probably know that. I'm sure it may have not been a requirement for a band to do a multi-drill with different transitions, and the criteria may just be have the most entertaining performance, have the crowd get up on their feet for the longest. Like, that legit may be the criteria for this competition, and it's not a knock to anything, all right?
Sure, this would be super entertaining at like a college game, but for a competition, certainly would not want to do this there. I would absolutely have Atlanta A&T placing way above that because, they did a lot of drill and they played songs that were, actually kind of challenging, sort of. And oh my goodness, wouldn't you know it, Morris Brown and A&T tied. Now, in any other competitive circuit that exists, yes, there is a lot of ties. I've seen quite a few myself, but there is no tiebreaker. If you tie, it's a tie. But in this, they have the Drumlines go battle, which is basically a huge middle finger to the rest of the band.
Hilarious. I kind of thought the same thing, though. But I mean, it's a movie about the drumline, so of course the climax has to be something about, drums and a line.
Because you're saying, hey, this is what actually matters the most. This is what's going to break the tie. You all get to just sit there and watch and hope that your drumline doesn't suck. So this drum battle goes on. Playing is kind of bad and really dirty, but I loved this part when this movie came out. This came out in 2002. I was in 7th grade. I just rewound the DVD over and over again watching this drum battle. It was super entertaining to me, and I'm sure definitely this part inspired a lot of people to want to continue doing drumline or to join drumline in the first place.
This drum battle is kind of epic. It's kind of, Morris Brown definitely should have won, by the way.
However, now that I'm older and have a lot more experience with this, this drumming is actually pretty bad. I made a video a while ago where I actually wrote out all of these cadences in music software and just had that play and called it the clean version because this music software is going to play it cleanly. A lot of people have been asking me for the sheet music for that, and unfortunately I don't have it anymore. It was on my old computer from years ago. However, you may have noticed that over here, a like goal was recently added. If this video gets 5,000 likes, I will retranscribe all of these cadences once again. And also, the version of this movie that I downloaded here, it's actually the uncut version, and there's a couple extra cadences.
Yo, I heard about that cadence. I haven't seen it, but I really want to see it. If anybody has a link to the uncut version of the movie, send it to me.
In this that I've actually never seen before until right now. And if you'd like to see them, I uploaded this drum battle to my second channel.
Oh, okay.
I'll leave a link in the description if you want to see those extra cadences.
Okay.
And before I was able to see this bonus footage in here, I would have, I've always been saying that Morris Brown should have won the drum battle because their cadences were way cooler. But the second cadence that got cut out of the movie for Atlanta A&T was actually really, really cool. I like this cadence a lot. So now I do agree with the judge's decision that Atlanta A&T should have won the drum battle. Okay, so that's all I got for you guys, but wait a minute. At the beginning of this video, I said...
Alright, so I guess that's the end of the video. This guy, EMC Productions. Yeah, so a lot of things that he was saying on the technical side of the way things sound and musical theory type of situations. Yeah, I'm with you on all that 100%. A lot of things don't add up. But the thing is Hollywood. A lot of things aren't supposed to add up in real life. It's Hollywood. It happens all the time. So I'm sure whatever your fictional movie that represents a real world situation, I can point out 1,000 things in it that are romanticized to where it wouldn't be applicable in the real world. But it's Hollywood, so it works. All right. That's kind of like this movie too. It's loosely based on the HBCU marching band experience, but it's not the HBCU marching band experience. All right, it's a Hollywood movie, and a lot of things the things I do have an issue with are all of the cultural condescension and things that you really don't understand and research. Everything isn't that cookie cutter with band, especially within the traditional style bands like the HBCU world and the corporate style bands that you're accustomed to. I just really want you to research the other style of band more often. I've worked with all kind of bands throughout my years, corp style, traditional style, and band at its core is pretty much the same. But there are so many cultural, differences and ideologies that aren't necessarily wrong or right. They're just different. All right. So I would really want you to go research those a little bit more. And that's how you would know that Morris Brown University isn't really a thing. It was never a thing. or that the band is, you know, based off of FAMU, not North Carolina A&T, or that the Southern Heritage Classic and the Honda Battle of the Bands are similar. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of things like that. Simple Google search would have sufficed. But I think that's the end of the video, man. If you want to check it out without my commentary, yeah, EMC Productions is the guy. All right, so yeah, man, that's the end of the video. I hope I cleared up a couple stuff for the people who may not have known. But yeah, tell me what you think. Go watch his video as well. You know, make a comment over there and on my page as well. Subscribe. You know, I got some more videos coming. And yeah, man, that's pretty much that.